Okay, dude, I hate that I'm making this video because it seems like anytime there's an opportunity to jump on this guy and pounce on the grave that he may have dug himself in Vancouver, it seems like we take it, right? It seems like I'm going out there and making videos just dissecting the inadequacies of this player and everything. Every chance there is, we do it. But I swear, that's not what I'm trying to do. Sure, that may inadvertently be what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to make a show here where we talk about NHL news and things that happen in the league, etc., etc. And yesterday, on April 19th, Wednesday, we had ourselves Game 2s going on amongst all the teams that had kicked off their Game 1s back on Monday. And it was interesting because out of all the 4 games that were played, each one of the teams that were down 1-0 in their series heading into Game 2 ended up winning, tying the series up at 1-1, with the exception of one team. The New York Islanders lost to the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime. It was Jesper Fast with a very brilliant goal. He receives the pass and shoots it across his body while shooting far side. It was a very nice play, beat Sorokin. Honestly, just a really good shot that you can't really expect the goaltender to be able to beat. So Sorokin, you might be pissed off about that one, but it's okay in my book. But either way, the reason we're making this video is because of a post made on Twitter by NHL Network. Because after this game had concluded, there were 2 ideas tossed around about the Hurricanes and the Islanders series that I saw people talking about the most. Firstly, you had a lot of Islanders fans talking about refereeing. You talk about high sticks, missed calls, whatever calls, and that's not really what I wanted to focus on in the slightest of this video, because the other conversation that I saw trending more and more after the conclusion of Game 2 was about former Vancouver Canucks captain Bo Horvat. Yeah, that's right. People were talking about Bo once again, and it was kind of funny because this time around, I'd seen the "I'll tell you that for free" catchphrase just kind of going around. Like, if you just search that phrase individually on Twitter, "I'll tell you that for free," you're gonna see so many people talking about the Islanders and how they're down 2-0 and Bo's point totals and how he's played and all this stuff. It's been a meme, man. Like, I don't like to do this necessarily, but you can just kind of tell how funny it is seeing everybody pounce onto this and saying, yeah, I'll tell you that for free. Look at the amount of points they've got. Oh, he's scoring less than he did in Vancouver. I'll tell you that for free. Oh, look at the Islanders. They're down 2-0. I'll tell you that for free. And I know I might be a little bit harsh on the Islanders fan base right now. I know you're down in the dumps because it's a 2-0 series for Carolina. Y'all are down and pissed off about the referees. And I get it, you know, it sucks, especially when you're watching these games and you feel, yeah, we have a chance. Like, I'd had both of the Islanders and Hurricanes games on my television in the living room, just kind of in passing, and just kind of sitting down, digesting, catching a glimpse of what was going on between both of these teams in games 1 and 2, you definitely never felt that the Islanders were out of it at any particular time. Game 1 was a super tight game. They had the goalie pulled at the end and everything, and Game 2 was an overtime win. So you can't really say that the Islanders have been out of this series at any point, right? It's just now you have a 2-0 series deficit, and what's the statistic that everybody likes to talk about? Only 14% of teams ever have come back from being down 2-0 or whatever it is. Something crazy like that. The statistics really don't favor the Islanders to be able to win this series, but the reason Bo Horvat had been trending yesterday is because you had NHL Network post this graphic about Bo Horvat before the start of Game 2. It hasn't been the smoothest transition for Bo Horvat. Season statistics with the Islanders in 30 games played, the guy had 7 goals and 9 assists, a -4 in 2024 time on ice per game. And then on Game 1, he had 2 shots, 21-54 time on ice. Because this tweet was posted, you had a lot of people going out there in the replies, kind of memeing around and just throwing out some pretty interesting ideas. This is what Harsunder Singh Hunjan said. Miller's perfect feeds into the bumper spot helped Horvat quite a bit when he was in Vancouver. Maybe the Isles should trade for Miller as well. You had the top reply here from Paul say, Country Club Bo, he's fired up to hit the golf course. Chris said this was a snarky reply. This is closer to normal for Bo Horvat than his last season with the Canucks. I'll tell you that for free. And then you have Pat Quinn Hughes say 8.5 by 8. Tell you that for free. Neil Collins replies this: JT Miller was the right guy to re-sign. I'll tell you that for free. Like, oh man, us Canucks fans, we gotta chill. We gotta chill it out because that is just too funny. I'll tell you that for free. Like, it's so crazy how quickly a guy's reputation was tarnished in a city after one freaking interview that it's just kind of like cathartic now, seeing the response of everything that's been going on. And of course, I don't want to go out there and say I wish Horvat to do poorly. Like, obviously, I wish him well. He's gonna get paid, and it probably would be in his best interest to keep up the production and score a lot of goals and do what it is that made him an $8.5 million player in the first place. But realistically, when it comes to Bo Horvat and the reputation, I mean, there was always this conversation going around saying that Bo Horvat elevates his game in the postseason too. We had talked about this back in 2015 when he was a rookie. He actually was one of the better Canucks when they lost in 6 games to the Flames that year. That was the season that Verbata had 30 goals and Daniel was a top 10 point scorer in the NHL. And then in the 2020 bubble, Bo Horvat came alive too. But yesterday, in Game 2, the guy had 0 goals and 0 assists, as he had in Game 1. The commentators on ESPN were talking endlessly about how Bo and Barzal just couldn't really get going together, and how maybe the conversation should arise to move one of these players to the 4th line, just to get somebody else going, whatever. And Bo right now, with his 0 points and 0 assists in 2 games played, has sparked up a bunch of tweets like this from Dan. Bo Horvat has been on fire in the playoffs. In the last 2 playoff games, he's got 0 goals, 0 assists, he's a -1, and he's an elite playoff performer, worth $8.5 million a year. And some of the replies on this tweet are just kind of taking shots at Vancouver and everything, and it's not gonna change anything, right? Like, I can acknowledge that the Canucks were very bad to Bruce Boudreau, and they're not a good team in their own right in terms of their assembly of money and how everything is diversified. There are problems within the organization that extend way beyond the ice and reach up into ownership. But at the same time, it is kind of disappointing, I feel. Like, I'd been willing to give the benefit of the doubt this entire time, saying, hey, Bo Horvat and his play helped will the Islanders into the postseason. He had played well, even though he hadn't been scoring at a 50-60 goal pace like he was with Vancouver. But now, it's showtime. You are supposed to go out there and perform. This is when Bo Horvat supposedly plays his best, in the playoffs, and now they're down 2-0. Like, there's a chance for them to come back and win. All they need is 2 wins in a row to get things going, and then they could go from there. But for Bo Horvat, I don't know if it would be too unfair to say he needs to be better. Like, $8.5 million a year for 8 years starting next season, the guy needs to prove that the money is worth it. And it starts here. So, for Bo Horvat, in yet another video talking about this guy as if he's a former captain of my favorite hockey team, yeah, that's how much we're obsessed with Bo Horvat here on this channel, folks. I feel like it's sort of time to say that he needs to be better, even though there have been so many benefits of the doubt given out to this guy in the past few weeks. It's just now you're down. You're down 2-0. Come on, Bo. Score some goals. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Islanders and their Game 2 against the Hurricanes. I get it. There's an entire layer of this conversation that I'm missing because I hadn't been talking about the refereeing. I hadn't been talking about the closeness of the games. But at the end of the day, coin flip or not, referee whistle or not, you're down 2-0. And you've got a 14% chance, according to the past, to make it past the first round. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.